Good afternoon, I'm Todd Carley. By now you likely have heard that SpaceShipTwo, the space tourism vehicle based out of Mojave, crashed this morning in the Mojave Desert shortly after takeoff on a test flight. In Mojave right now, they are about to hold a press conference to talk about that crash, and Stu Witt is at the podium with Scale Composites. Let's listen in.
The evolution of a SpaceShipTwo White Knight 2 powered flight 4 was the name of this particular test. Takeoff occurred at 9:20 this morning. My team and I were present for the entire evolution, and release of SpaceShipTwo occurred at approximately 10:10 a.m. At approximately 10:12, we became aware of an in-flight anomaly and implemented our pre-planned response plan. My team was dispatched to the north. The chief will discuss that, and the sheriff will discuss his involvement. I had confirmation of a mishap just a few moments later, approximately 25 miles north of the airport, and we were given a latitude, longitude of potential site. At a time like these, those of us in the aerospace valley recognize that we engage in our craft freely. I've been in it for 45 years. We recognize that the contribution we make to a nation, the traveling public, and the general contribution to an amazing industry that provides transportation to the entire world. But when we have a mishap from the test community, we find the test community is very small. And we are human, and it hurts. And our hearts, thoughts, prayers, absolutely with the families, the victims. We do know that one of the crew members was met by emergency responders, treated on the scene, and transported to Antelope Valley Hospital. We also know that we had one fatality. I want to also acknowledge the artisans, the craftsmen, the engineers, the emergency responders, the technicians, the janitors, everybody in this industry that gives it their all every single day. These parking lots are filled 7 days a week. No one is forcing these people to do this. I can't speculate at this time on the cause. I know George is going to address that. Again, Chief and Donnie, I just want to say thanks to the emergency responders. You guys have been with us, and you will be with us every step of the way for years. And to your team, personally, we say thanks. At this time, I turn it over to George. Statement. Chief, or pardon me, Sheriff. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, Kern County Sheriff.
Thanks, Stu. The involvement of the Sheriff's Office in this will be the lead. I got the call this morning that there had been an anomaly and a mishap, and I flew around the crash site. It's a large area. The aircraft is in several different pieces. We found one person who had obviously was deceased immediately. The other was transported to AV Hospital, and I do not have the condition when we left here. It appeared to be major injuries, but we don't know if that's what that means yet. But our thoughts and prayers are with the family, and we hope that the survivor will be just fine. Sure.
Hello, Mike Cody, CODY, Deputy Fire Chief, Kern County Fire Department. Our involvement, it goes for about 10 years working with Mojave Air and Spaceport. We've attended many briefings to get ready for a potential mishap. It's not why we want to stand here today. We've been here and assisting Mojave Air and Spaceport emergency responders, put together plans. If there's a plan to take an event on the facility, then we assist Mojave Air and Spaceport off the facility. Then our role is rescue. We had a helicopter on standby which responded. I believe the Sheriff's Department had a vehicle on the ground, and the Civilian Flight Test Center had a helicopter on the ground prior to our arrival, administering care to the survivor. We arrived on scene, took over patient care, packaged the individual, and transferred care to Mercy Air 14 air helicopter for transport to Antelope Valley Hospital. And so we continue to support Mojave Air and Spaceport in any way possible. Thank you.
Next up, Kevin Mickey. It's like Mickey Mouse. Kevin's the president, Scale Composites. Kevin.
Afternoon, everybody. To echo what Stu said, thanks to all the support we get from the Mojave Air and Spaceport from the local authorities. I'd just like to say that our job continues. Immediately after locating the crash site, we set out with our partners to secure the crash site. That will continue to be the case overnight. We expect that the NTSB will arrive approximately 7:30 tomorrow morning. We will spend a couple of hours putting together a game plan for moving forward as we continue the investigation, which we expect would take several days.
Can you tell us, sir, what do you believe might have happened? I mean, we've heard that, I guess, this particular...
If you wouldn't mind, just let's get the statements, and then we'll take some of your questions, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with all due respect.
You got it. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Whiteside, the Chief Executive of Virgin Galactic. George.
Hello, everybody. Our primary thoughts at this moment are with the crew and family, and we're doing everything we can for them now. I'd like to recognize the work of the first responders who we work with in the Antelope Valley for their efforts on behalf of the team. We're also thinking of the team members that we have at the companies that have been working on this program. I can say that Richard Branson is on his way. He's flying now to Mojave, and we expect he'll be here by tomorrow morning. Space is hard, and today was a tough day. We are going to be supporting the investigation as we figure out what happened today, and we're going to get through it. Future rests in many ways on hard days like this, but we believe we owe it to the folks who were flying these vehicles, as well as the folks who've been working so hard on them, to understand this and to move forward, which is what we'll do. Thank you.
Gents, if you wouldn't mind joining me. Supervisors, I see you in the room. Supervisor Gleason, Supervisor Scrivener, nice to see you. Now, I'd like to take some questions from the press corps, and if you wouldn't mind, we'll give you some time. Stand up, state your name so we know who we're talking to and your affiliation, please. So go ahead.
Question for you, Leo Starward, Channel 7. From what I understand on this particular test flight, this SpaceShipTwo was using reformulated fuel, and maybe the engine had been tweaked. Is this true?
I've got to turn that over to Kevin. Kevin, care to take that question?
We were flying a rocket motor today that had been thoroughly tested on the ground and had been through a qualification series, and of course we expected no anomalies with the motor today.
Paul Vercamer with CNN. Can you clarify, please? Was this the first time then that you were using this reconfigured or new motor? You tested on the ground, but never before in the air.
A small nuance to the rocket motor design is the fuel of the motor. So this motor configuration had flown a few times in the past. This was our fourth powered flight.
But you were using a different mixture in terms of fuel, correct? I mean, was this the first time?
This was a new fuel formulation, again, that had been proven and tested on the ground
So
many times.
Patrick Healy from Los Angeles. Can we just take a step back and can you give us your best narrative of what happened during this flight, during the 2 minutes after separation before the anomaly that happened?
Let me take it. Sir, I'm going to take that one just because we're standing at the base of the tower. We always convene. We always are near each other. This was a pure test. This was not a public event. So I will tell you from my eyes and my ears, I detected nothing that appeared abnormal. I know I was briefed that the plume would look different this time than it had in the past. And it did. But I couldn't detect anything. In fact, there was a pause of about 90 seconds when your colleagues have been calling all morning wanting to know when I knew, and I will tell you that I knew when other things weren't happening. It wasn't because of something did happen. It was of what I was not hearing and not seeing. And so it was, you know, if there was a huge explosion, it didn't occur, I didn't see it. I mean, I've already read that in the press, so.
Does ignition occur right at separation?
No, there's a few seconds before ignition occurs and is initiated.
And then was there any communication from the cockpit during that 2 minute period?
I heard pardon us, I don't know the answer to that.
NBC 9 News, can you explain just briefly how the process works? The rocket goes up, the ship separates. Can you just explain? Somebody?
This vehicle, like the Spaceship One that we flew in 2004, is a mated pair. So the spaceship flies under what we describe as a mothership that carries the spaceship to roughly 45,000 feet. The spaceship then separates from the larger vehicle, at which point it is a glider in a free fall. The rocket motor is lit, and you're on your way.
Is there anything at all that you can tell us about the condition of the surviving pilot or any information about the pilot that was killed?
The only news that I have currently is that he was transported and is doing as well as could be expected.
What other details can you tell us about these pilots, their ages, how much experience they had? Can you give us a little bit more background about them?
Scale Composites employs a team of test pilots that have gone through significant training for these types of events. So I will confirm that both of these were Scale Composites test pilots.
Both men?
Yes.
Have their families been notified?
Yes.
Tim Callahan with 23 ABC in Bakersfield. You talked a little bit about the resolve and this community that has been built here with all the activity that's happening here. As folks here watching that have been involved with building this, involved with testing all that goes on here, your message to them tonight, and obviously it was that you guys will resolve, come back from this.
Yeah, let me retreat a little bit. Like I said, been in this business a long time, and the industry that has chosen to invest at this phase of our career and the new generation that is joining us, your age, extremely motivated, highly motivated, challenging, inquisitive people. And even though we have a preponderance of this new industry resident in Mojave, this industry is sprinkled around the globe. It is a borderless global industry that's interested in commercialization and much greater access to space. My message to them is stay the course. This business is worthy business. This is not easy. If it were easy, it wouldn't be interesting to me or any of my colleagues standing with us. And to the new people involved with this, get involved, be inquisitive, challenge, don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. We're doing this for you and for your generation, and it's worthy, good business, and it's a cause far greater than any one of us singularly. I equate it to the Magellan mission.
Sir, obviously everybody understands that your thoughts today are with very personal loss and would impact your community. Can you offer any thoughts thoughts on the impact for your industry? This is the second private space mission this week that is, and obviously this is a catastrophic and tragic failure. But how dark at least has this been for the industry in terms of the progress toward private exploration of suborbital and low Earth orbital?
Well, it hasn't been an easy week. It's certainly been a challenge. But from where I'm from, this is where you find out your true character. And I think, lacking any other comments, we will reconvene sometime tomorrow, and we'll put out a notice when that is. I expect to convene another press conference of this like sometime in the either late morning or early afternoon.
Quick question, sir. What did you get the chase plane? Have you spoken to that pilot to see what he had said that he may have seen prior to this?
That I have not.
Where was the crash in relation to the spaceport?
Guys.
Can you confirm the number of flights this aircraft has taken? I've seen the number that this was the 55th for SpaceShipTwo. Do you want to confirm that number?
I believe that number is correct. We'll get that.
That this is the 55th?
55th of all types of flights.
Yeah, there's a significant number. I want to thank you again for coming out today. I know everybody is thirsty for more data. You have what we have, and Godspeed to the families.
Are you saying there wasn't an explosion?
Whoever asked that question, that's his.
All right, as you just heard, we're wrapping up the press conference here. Obviously, a very emotional press conference for the folks who were involved here so intimately in what's going on. Hearing that first word that something had gone wrong in the air, and then finding out that, in fact, someone had passed in this accident, as well as another astronaut in critical condition. There was a lot in that press conference in terms of the investigation, what we do know and what we don't know. Obviously, something went wrong. There were some questions here from the media about fuel mixes and different things inside that engine. All too soon to speculate on what's going on and what may have happened during that flight, and mechanically what happened. As you heard, this is a big blow to this community. And the resolve here and the message here is that they will rebuild. They will be back. And that was a pretty poignant moment here in the press conference that just wrapped up a few minutes ago. As you can take a look behind me, obviously media wanting to continue to know what's going on. And gathering more information as they were about to slip away here. They were kind of hounded, if you will, by media that just had a few more questions to ask. You heard from Kern County Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, who was taking the lead in this investigation. The Kern County Sheriff's Fire Department, who initially responded to this scene first and was first on scene, ready if something did go wrong. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, if we could get you maybe one more time here. Your thoughts? Obviously, we're not going to be able to speak to him. He's inside that wall of reporters there. But thoughts on just what we know. And really, what I took away from this press conference is the resolve that this community has and the spirit that's here.
You know, I first came out here in the early 80s working as a sergeant, and this airport has been in the forefront of that long before I came out here. And as tragic as this is, and they will get past it and survive it. It's just unfortunate that we lost a good test pilot today, and you know, that's hard for a community like this to absorb, because they do some dangerous stuff, but they know what they're doing. It's not unlike a policeman. You know when you're going out there that there's some danger there. You accept that when you take the job, but this is sad for this community.
Sheriff Donnie Youngblood obviously taking the investigation here in Mojave. I'm Tim Callahan reporting from Mojave. We're going to have much more on this obviously coming up tonight on 23 ABC News at 5 and 6. You can also go online. We're going to have update-to-the-date information on what we know and pass it along to you. Obviously, the spirit here and the message that they will come back from this tragedy. We're going to continue to stay here on scene and bring you any more information as it becomes available. But for now, reporting live in Mojave, I'm Tim Callahan, 23 ABC.
All right, Tim, thanks tonight. We'll be hearing from him again tonight at 5 o'clock as we try to get more information about this accident that happened this morning out in the Mojave Desert. The crash, of course, this morning killing one of the pilots and injuring another. Apparently that second pilot was able to parachute out of SpaceShipTwo, and after he was recovered by Kern County Fire, taken to Antelope Valley Hospital. This accident happened about 9:20 this morning. Not many details coming from that press conference if you're with us for the whole thing, other than Stu Witt, who is with Scale Composites. That, of course, is the company that has pioneered this space tourism business out in the Mojave Desert with the Rattan brothers, funded by Richard Branson by Virgin Galactic. Stu Witt watching the test this morning, saying he didn't see anything wrong. He knew there was something wrong when some of the things he thought were going to happen did not. That is as close as he would get to providing details about what happened this morning with SpaceShipTwo crashing, killing one pilot and injuring another. This has been a long-time venture for this company and obviously a major setback for them, and we will try to find out as much as we can here in the next couple of hours before we see you back here tonight for 23 ABC News at 5. Thanks for being with us in this special report this afternoon. We'll see you back here in a little bit at 5 o'clock.